Hi, I'm Faisal Baig. I'm a public sector specialist, ETC with the World Bank, and I work with the Bureaucracy Lab and the governance practice.
Good to see you.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for
Bureaucracy Lab Coffee Series. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, you have this wonderful story about why you got into public administration, why you think the state and how it's functioning matters. And I want to hear it. I want to put it on camera. Let's hear it.
Awesome. So I think it sort of started off in 2005. So in 2005 in Pakistan, there was a devastating earthquake that took place in the north, in the mountains. I think within, it was at 7.8 on the Richter scale, so it's severe. It killed about 86,000 people and left 3.5 million homeless. And the way it was so devastating was that like entire villages were erased. And then to add insult to injury, the government had no idea these villages even existed. So there was no demographic data, there was no demographic mapping of the area, there was no any sort of government information systems on that. I was in undergrad and I was in my sophomore year. And so I was part of the rugby team, and because we were rugby big bulky boys, so our coach just volunteered us to like load up trucks with relief goods and take them up into the mountains and like just hike like across mountain ridges and then distribute relief goods. So that's how it sort of initially began. But then within the weeks and days and months after, more formal organizations started happening. So the World Bank actually got involved in an effort to create a data system to collect and then distribute demographic data, relief data, compensation. It did not exist. So we worked. So and then I sort of volunteered for that, and I became part of this project called RICEPAC, Relief Information System for Earthquakes, Pakistan. And it was a World Bank funded project, and then some notable people from the bank, Jishnu Das, Tarari Vishwanath, they were like the TTLs for that project. So yeah, we started working with them, trying to go out and do a literal like household income and household surveys in the middle of winter in the mountains, in relief camps, in whatever temporary shelters that people had.
Yeah.
And I think what got me so interested was within weeks, sure, a lot of money pooled in, but more than that, government attention was put to this, and within weeks, capacity was built to such an extent that they could manage the hundreds of relief organizations, from doctors from Cuba to the Doctors Without Borders to the UK military, the US military who was positioned in Afghanistan. They were all working in the Pakistani military. India sent relief, and like pretty much every country on the planet sent relief. And then within weeks, the systems were set up that they could handle this. So why were these systems not in place before? Nothing changed between if you think about like the Magna Carta, that between the people and the governed, nothing changed within those 2 weeks. But then, so that I think is what interested me in pursuing this sort of area. And then, I immediately, like within the next semester, I changed my major from economics and like investment banking to political philosophy, because that's like, I never read Durkheim, I'd never read Hegel, so like just more. I mean, obviously it's Pakistan, so everything's a little left leaning.
Yeah.
But so and then that's where I sort of got my idea of like what Rawlsian sort of equivalence is, and sort of like the relationship between the state and people. So like that kind of thing. Immediately after graduating, I started working with the government, particularly on this, to do policy reform, to bring attention to somewhat areas which have not received the same kind of attention to do the, and then like you said, like the rest is history, and then pursued graduate study to build a more deeper theoretical understanding of these problems, and now I use that every day in my work.
How do you say cheers in Pakistan?
Cheers.